Hey all, welcome to ShareTreck. This is Raj here. I'm back again today because Altimmune has already released their Q2 2024 earnings result. And friends, as you know, I have invested in Altimmune and I'm watching it very carefully. I personally believe that there's this best of class weight reduction therapy out there. And I think once it gets approved, it's going to find leadership in the market. And the best thing about Altimmune is that the data so far released show that they have the least amount of muscular loss among their competitors. So that said, let's take a quick look at what Altimmune has produced, and I'll give you my conclusions at the end. With that said, let's get started. Welcome back, friends. Altimmune is actively advancing its clinical programs, particularly with its lead candidate pemvidutide, which is what my main focus is at, and this is for metabolic disease. And the company is making significant strides in demonstrating the therapeutical potential of pemvidutide. But it also has got challengers in the class action field, which is developing on a separate track altogether. Pemvidutide, especially in obesity and metabolic dysfunction associated steatohepatitis or MASH, is likely to become a lead-in-class drug in my opinion. However, the rising R&D expenses and increasing net loss are challenges the company needs to manage carefully as it progresses through clinical trials. Will they be able to do that? We're going to watch. And their success in doing that would determine how much we gain in our investment. So when we look at the data for pemvidutide, Altimmune presented data from its phase 2 momentum obesity trial showing significant weight loss up to 15.6% at 48 weeks and substantial reductions in triglycerides, total cholesterol, and LDL cholesterol. Notably, pemvidutide demonstrated class-leading lean mass preservation, which is crucial for obesity treatment. You don't want to lose your lean mass. Lean mass is basically your muscles. So that's the highlight of pemvidutide as far as I am concerned. The company reported positive results from its study on MASH with significant reduction in liver fat content or LFC and improvements in non-invasive markers of liver inflammation. These findings suggest that pemvidutide has a strong potential to resolve MASH and improve fibrosis, setting the stage for its phase 2b IMPACT trial. Altimmune is preparing for an end of phase 2 meeting with the FDA to finalize the design of its phase 3 obesity trial. And friends, Altimmune has been on this trial for a while now, and with the quality of the data, I am expecting that possibly phase 3 will be the ultimate phase for their clinical trials, and this is likely to prove a critical step towards bringing pemvidutide to the market, or basically towards monetization. So I would like to hear more about how long phase 3 is going to be, what is the end point for phase 3, and what is the probability of achieving those endpoints. That's something I'll be watching for. The company is exploring up to 3 additional indications for pemvidutide, expanding its potential market and therapeutic impact. And that's a good news, because if this drug succeeds, then they could have a whole lot of... the way I would put it is that if you look at the cost of developing pemvidutide, and if there were 3 indications for which it could be used, then the overall cost per indication is lower. Therefore, the margins per indication is going to be much higher through the lifetime of the patent that they may have. So that's how I'm looking at it. So I'm hoping that the other indications also pan out successfully. Of course, that would mean clinical trials to prove those indications. That would also mean extra costs. But once pemvidutide is approved for weight loss or MASH, then the patent might probably get extended because of the other indications being qualified. So I think this is all good for Altimmune. I could be wrong in my understanding. If any of you understand pharmaceutical and patents much better than I do, please put it in the comments so that I can investigate and understand this better. And Altimmune had 164.9 million in cash and cash equivalents and short-term investment as of June 30, 2024. This provides a solid financial foundation to continue funding its clinical trials and operations in the near term. And now I want to move on to the negative highlights. because the first thing is the rising R&D expenses, which increased to 21.2 million, up from 13.3 million in the same quarter of 2023. The majority of these costs are associated with the development of pemvidutide, reflecting the intensive nature of advancing clinical trials. While this is expected, the rising costs contribute to the company's widening net loss. And I suspect that part of this rising cost could also be investigation on the 3 other indications for which they want to use pemvidutide, developing a methodology for proving to FDA that they are working. So that's what I'm thinking is increasing the cost. And as a result of which there is an increase in the net loss. The net loss for Q2 2024 was 24.6 million compared to 16.1 million in the same period in 2023. This is a significant increase and reflects the higher cost associated with expanding clinical trials and wind down of the Hep T cell program. Wind down of Hep T cell program is basically the discontinuation of the Hep T cell program, which resulted in a $1 million wind down cost, suggests that Altimmune is narrowing its focus on pemvidutide, while the company aims to concentrate on its lead asset. It also reduces its pipeline diversification. So that's the area where I would be a bit concerned. The pipeline diversification is going down and it becomes a one-trick pony, then that's very risky. And overall, I would say that Altimmune is making substantial progress in its clinical programs, particularly with pemvidutide, which shows strong potential in treating obesity and MASH, MASH, and the company's ability to demonstrate in its clinical data, such as preservation of lean mass, positions it well in the competitive obesity market among its peers. However, the rising R&D expenses and the widening net loss are significant challenges that the company must address as it moves towards pivotal trials and potential commercialization. The upcoming FDA meeting and further clinical milestones will be critical in determining Altimmune's path forward and its ability to sustain its financial and strategic momentum. Now, I want to give you a bit of my thought process, and I would also like you guys to respond to me in the comment section about my thinking and my hypothesis. I'm thinking that Altimmune should have delayed exploring the 3 additional indications for pemvidutide and should have waited for until they have a date for the BLA. And in that case, what would have happened is that we would have had a longer cash runway, and the loss would have been much less than it is right now. And that would give a great deal of strength to the company in these difficult times. Agreed that September will see rate cuts and easing of the environment. But if they did it that way, it would have been better. And the reasoning behind that is if they have 3 additional indications, there is no guarantee that all 3 of them are going to get approved along with MASH. So that is out of the way. So in that case, they have to, for the other 3 indications, they have to do some amount of preclinical work to come up with justifications, and then they have to design the trials, and they're going to get approval from FDA. And they could have done all of that after MASH got approval. So the main concern I have is that they have decided to probably go for these 3 additional indications in parallel, because that's what the ramp up in expenses seem to indicate to me. I might be totally wrong about that, but that's what it indicates to me. Huge increase in R&D costs. Are they not comfortable that they're going to get approval for pemvidutide for MASH? Is that why they're going for those 3 additional indications? Because why is there a need to do it so quickly? I hope I'm mistaken. I hope that they have just declared their intentions to go for 3 additional targets, and all the expenses they have done are just for pemvidutide. If that is the case, I stand corrected. Otherwise, I would definitely have concerns until I see the BLA date. So before we wind up this video, I'd like to go to the TradingView platform and look at the price chart and see what the price action is telling us. Here we are in the TradingView platform looking at Altimmune, and each of these candles are a 1-day candle. I'm just going to take away all these earlier trend lines that I had made to track the progress of Altimmune. So I'm going to take them all off. There is a resistance line out here at 8.13 which needs to be crossed. We have seen a smart jump by Altimmune today, and that is almost a jump of 17.27%, which indicates that the market likes what it has seen. Momentum has just come up to average. I want it to go above average. Momentum is indicating that probably MACD will succeed crossing over the signal line into the positive side. So anytime that the MACD is below the neutral line, I think that's the time for us to buy. I do not advise you to buy or anything. Please do your own due diligence, because these are my personal opinion. I have Altimmune shares. I bought it at $10. I dollar cost averaged it to somewhere around $5.50 in a couple of accounts. So some of those accounts will probably see a profit, but the other accounts may still be in a loss because they are at 10.45 or something like that. At this point of time, I think that we have to wait and watch the next few days. The positives that I see today are that the 9-day and the 20-day exponential moving averages have been converted into a support. The momentum has come up to average, which shows interest in the market. So those are the positives for today, but I don't have enough to predict whether this trend will continue further, because it's a fickle market at this point of time and it's going nowhere. One day it goes up, the other day it goes down. So wherever I have profit on Altimmune, I'm planning to take those profits and wait for the price to drop down to buy back again, because ultimately when we are very close to BLA announcement, that's when I think there will be major traction in this share. But overall, I'm happy with Altimmune. So that was my commentary on Altimmune, and that's what I think Altimmune is all about. I'm going to continue to hold it. Please let me know whether you have Altimmune in your portfolio and how it is performing, what is your average price, and also give me your feedback, especially on the patent extension. If new uses are found, new targets or indications are found for the same medicine. I believe that if you have an indication for a medicine and FDA approves it, you have patent life for that indication. But for the same therapy, if you find another indication and get approval, that creates a new patent life for the drug. So please put it in the comment section if you think I am mistaken. And I'll catch up with you again in the next video. Bye for now.